So should you do a low carb, high carb, or no carb diet? And I'm gonna be honest, I'm just gonna show you what worked for me, and I'm gonna show you the terminology that you should know to make a decision for yourself. Because this is a debate that's been happening in the fitness space, and I just want to make sure and make it clear that carbs don't cause fat. It's just not. There's a whole reason why carb is a whole different food category than fat. If carb was fat, then it would be called fat. Then it'll be only protein and fat. That's not the case. Carb is just energy, okay? So at the end of this, I want you to make a decision for yourself. But I'm going to show you what worked for me, and that it doesn't play a role into how you get fatter or even lose fat, right? So I just want to show you exactly what happened to me. So I've never cut out carbs ever. I never cut it out. And I find it really hard for me to cut it out. I can't imagine me cutting out carbs. Like, a matter of fact, I'm eating potato right now. Potato, chicken breast potato, strawberry, cucumber, and cherry tomatoes. But I can't imagine cutting out carbs, man. It's my energy. I need that energy. I don't know how people can do all these different kind of diets that we're going to go into, but I've never cut out carbs because carbs is not what makes you fat, okay? Eating more food than your body needs is what makes you fat. So I kept carbs in and still lost the fat. Just pick the right types and the right times to eat them. Okay, so this is before my weight loss journey. So this is before I was 190 pounds. I was overweight for my BMI. For my height, for my age. I was only, what was I, like 19 at this time? I was 19. This was January. And this is me just like yesterday. I took this picture yesterday. Crazy transformation, right? In just like 4 months. 4 months. You can already see everything all defined. I'm not in the best shape, you know. I would love to get a little leaner before I do my main gain or my lean bulk. But this isn't about me, right? So I'm just showing you that this was me before when I had carbs. This is me after when I also had carbs. Okay? That after losing 20 pounds. Carbs is not what makes it. It actually kind of makes it harder, if I'm being honest. But it's all up to you, right? So why shoot. What am I doing, man? Shoot. Let me see. Right here. There we go. So why is this even a topic? Because there's been a lot of trends, beliefs, and misinformation, right? People think carbs equals fat gain, which is not the case if you do it wrong. If you do it right. If you do it right, it's not going to cause fat, okay? If you're in a deficit, and let's say you have 200 calories left in the day of eating. Let's say you had like food in the previous couple hours, and now you have 200 calories left before the day ends. If you want to eat pasta, and that pasta is over 200 calories, you're not in a deficit anymore, which is why now you're not going to lose weight. But same thing goes with anything else, like protein. If you eat something that has a lot of protein and it's over 200 calories, you're also going to gain weight. Right? It's not fat. It's just probably going to be muscle depending if you're weight training or not. But it's a whole different topic. Carbs doesn't cause fat gain. That's what people think. Because carbs is super easy to overeat sometimes, right? So they try keto, they try low carb, they try skipping the meals, which I'm not a big fan of any of those things. But if it helps you, go for it, right? Go for it. And by all means. But keto means you pretty much restrict yourself in just like no carbs at all, no bread, no rice, no fruit, no pasta, and anything like that. But when people do this, what usually happens is like they drop weight, so they think it's working, and it kind of is. It kind of is working, but it gets unsustainable, and then they binge eat all the weight they gain back. Right? It's so easy to just, once you're deprived of something, it's so easy to just chomp your way into like a whole bag of chips, a whole bread, like all this different pasta. I love pasta, right? It's gonna be super easy to regain all that weight back, okay? But the truth is, you don't get the fat from the carbs. I keep repeating this because I just want to make sure this again ingrains in your head. You get fat from eating too much, period. Okay, so these are the different techniques that people have tried, or different methods. And I just want to show you real quick before we move on. So this is the keto. People move from a carb diet to like a keto diet, which means they cut out basically any carbs. Like they only have like less than 50 grams a day. No more than that. So they cut out bread, they cut out rice, they cut out fruit, they cut out fruit. They cut out pasta. They cut out all these things that are quite, in my belief, almost necessary to function, at least as a sane person, right? So they get the fast weight loss, and usually that's a lot of water, not fat, but it is some fat to an extent, okay? And it's hard to stick to. It's very, very strict. You're usually eating a lot of proteins. Your main sources are fats and protein. That's your main sources. And then the whole point of the keto diet is to go to a ketosis, which is when your body moves from using carbs as energy to fat as energy. Does it work? Sure. Yeah, it does work if you do it correctly and if you're able to make it sustainable for you. But for most people, it's unsustainable. Most people. If you can sustain it, it could possibly work for you. Okay? Then, as I said, yeah, ketosis is higher fat as the main energy so that your body can just run on the fat, right? And I think that could be a really helpful way if you really, really need to lose fats like in a really fast amount of time. But that's like if you're willing to go insane, right? And the second method is skip meals. You eat less, but you're starving later. I used to try to do this, right? I used to just try not to eat for the whole day. And then later I would just, any plate in front of me, I would just eat it up. Really. I would just eat it up. Because it's so easy to just, to lose track of your food, your calories, your macros when you're starving the whole day and then you get a plate in front of you and you just do refill, especially with like stuff like cereal or stuff like packaged foods, packaged snacks, candy, and it's like right next to you. Like I have some carbs, like low carb right here. I have some fruit bars, but they're only low carb. There's 60 calories each. And if I want a late night snack, I just take one of these. It's like a fruit bar. They're really good. It's only 60 calories. It's totally fine. And they're low carb too, but it's something that I can rely on if I can't stand being hungry at night. So that's why I have this here. And it's super easy for me to stay on track, right? Only 60 calories. My mind can just be busy on chewing on something. We're good, right? And since it's very easy to overeat, it's also, if you wait to like the later in the day to eat, you're probably working out in the morning, unless you work out later. Okay, sure. But if you're working out, like let's say in the morning, you're going to be low energy if not done correctly. Like if you don't strategically plan out your carb meals or you plan out your pre-workout meals, you will have the worst workouts. You're not going to feel like working out. And even if you have a great routine, sometimes you're not going to feel like working out, but don't make it harder on yourself. Don't make it harder, man. Like don't like starve yourself so that and then go work out fasted and try to force that just so you can lose fat. That's not the case. You don't have to do that. You don't have to, right? And then the low carb. So this is pretty much self-explanatory. You just barely eat any carbs. Just have everything low carb. I call this like the lettuce wrap phase, where you go to a burger place and you want to get like a lettuce wrap and you want to have that low carb burger. So this is similar to keto, but it's more flexible, a little more sustainable, right? I personally did low carb for a little while, and then I found it really hard to sustain it, and then I binged eat for a while. But then I caught myself, and that took a lot of discipline to stop doing, because I was overeating, and I've noticed the weight scale going up a little bit week by week. So I was like, okay, I gotta get my stuff together, right? So this is like asking for anything lettuce wrapped. If you want to go to a burger place, you can ask for low carb. I know there's some places that you can do that. So low carb, low fat, and this one you really got to prioritize protein, right? Keto, you prioritize protein and fat. Low carb diets is prioritizing protein and having low carb and low fat, so you can have some room for carbs and some fat. And the skipping meals, you don't have to do that. That's not my belief that you should be doing. Like fasting, yes, you can fast. But skipping meals, like in the purpose of, if I just don't eat, I will lose fat. There's a difference there, but that's for a whole different video, right? So now that you know that, let's just go over first. What are carbs? It probably should have been reversed, but it's all good. What are carbs? Okay, carbs are your body's main energy source. Oh, this is the boring stuff. Okay, whatever. No, we're gonna get through this quick. They break down into glucose, which is sugar. Okay, which fuels your brain and your muscles. Okay, so some carb sources you probably already know. Oh, this is probably getting boring. You're probably itching to click on another video, but whatever. If you do, okay. But if you don't, I'll make this as quick as possible. bread, rice, potatoes, fruit, sugar. All great carb sources if used correctly and if timed correctly, right? And if you're probably thinking, how can I time food correctly? Well, you'll see right now. The main driver of fat loss is calories in, calories out. You probably already knew that. People have said that tons of times. You can have a high carb diet and still lose weight as long as it fits with your macros, okay? If you strategically fit your carbs into your calories and daily macros, you can have carbs. Eating less carbs could help you lose fat, but it's not like the main driver, right? If you're avoiding, let's say for example, like the same example, you have 200 calories left and you want to eat that pasta, like that's 500 calories worth of pasta, and you want to eat it. Avoiding that, yes, that's going to help you lose fat, because if you eat that pasta, you're going to go over your deficit. That means you're going to gain weight, or at least you're not going to lose weight as fast, right? But that could be with any foods, right? That could be with, if you, there's a huge steak that is like platted on the table and you only have 200 calories left, that's the same thing applies. It's not just carbs itself, it's just food. It's just calories in, calories out, right? So some slow digesting carbs, I just want you to know this, is oats, brown rice, sweet potato, whole wheat bread, and lentils, okay? And faster carbs, faster digesting, usually for before workouts, white rice, fruit juice, rice cakes, cereal, banana, even apples. I don't know why I didn't put apples there, because I usually eat apples, tangerines, fruits usually, right? So if you strategically use these carbs for the purpose of like staying fuller, if you want to stay fuller, have the slow digesting carbs, which can be helpful throughout later in the day so that you don't binge eat at night, right? And then if you want in the morning, usually what I eat in the morning is fruits. Fruits is really good for the morning, but you can have white rice, you can have fruit juice, rice cake, cereal, banana, etc. But not just any cereal. Try not to just go for the Fruit Loops or the Cocoa Pebbles, whatever. Just have like actual good cereal, like flakes. Those are great. So if you strategically plan and you don't eat like pasta in the morning, man, you're gonna get tired. Like I remember we go to Olive Garden and I would get the pasta because I love pasta, right? And then in the car ride home, I would be slumped. I would be dead asleep in the car in the back seat. It's crazy, right? So that's why when I noticed, like, I always eat all this Italian food. I always eat all this pizza. I always eat all these what do you call it? Pasta, and I always fell asleep, like in the car ride back home. And now I know why. Because it's really high in carbs. They're slow digesting. So you want to strategically, you probably want to have these later in the day, right? So you can fast in the morning, have pre-workout fruit, rice cake, cereal. After the workout, you can have slower carbs. Like right here, I have some potatoes. Potatoes for me tend to be more filling. So that's why I'm eating it right now. I just had a workout. So that's my strategy for you, or that's my recommendation. But we're not 100% done yet. What's worked for me, right? I didn't cut the carbs out. I just got smarter with them. I chose complex carbs most of the time because they kept me full longer and it helped me stay consistent without binge eating later. At night, you get the most cravings. I don't know why. It's just something with me, or a lot of people. You get the most cravings at night. Everything looks good to you. Everything's just laid on the table. There's leftovers and stuff in the fridge. There's cake. I remember it was my brother's birthday recently, and there's just cake sitting in the fridge, and I'm just like trying so hard not to eat it. And I saved the fast digesting carbs for around my workouts, for before the workouts. Like today, you saw on my story, I posted the fruit I had, so that when I'm at the coffee shop and I drink my coffee and then I have fruit to eat before I work out, it helps me get the energy, right? And so if you're going to eat something like, if let's say you have a workout later in the day, I recommend you eat slower carbs at least 2 hours before the workout so it has time to digest, right? And so you don't shit yourself in the gym, right? You don't want to go to the restroom during the workout, right? That's the worst feeling. But if you're going to have like pasta, if you're going to have, I don't know, something heavy like in carb and that's slow, then have it at least a couple hours before the workout. But something for like with banana and tangerine, you can have it even an hour or even 45 minutes before, and it'll be digested. So in the morning, you can have fruits. I would recommend fruits, anything like rice cakes, or if you're gonna go on a run, have something quick that can be digestive. And later in the day, even if it's my rest day, I have carbs later in the day because it makes me feel a little sleepy. I don't want to feel tired throughout the day. So then that's why I do that. But this is what exactly has worked for me. This is what worked for me, and this is what I would suggest someone at least starts out with, so that they don't have to, restrict themselves too much and go insane in the first month or two of their weight loss. So this is just what I recommend. Keep the carbs. Just be smart about them. Here's what I would tell anyone if they had to drop weight without going insane or without losing their mind. Don't cut the carbs, just control the portions. It's super easy to just binge eat all these chips, cookies, Doritos, all these things. Like for me, Pop-Tarts, man, I loved Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarts, like the cinnamon one, super good. But you can easily overeat the sugary stuff, right? So that's why people think, oh, carbs are bad, but it's just that their control is bad. Their lack of control is there. That's like, and then they use carbs as a cover-up. Don't use carbs as a cover-up. You have to be accountable to yourself. Control your portions. Choose slow carbs to stay full, right? Use fast carbs before the workouts for energy, or use fast carbs for a run. That's why I mentioned always, if anyone asks me what I eat in the morning, banana, and sometimes I don't really use honey too much, but banana with honey is something that a lot of runners use, a lot of soccer players use that I've noticed. So that's what I would recommend. Track your food to make sure you're in the deficit still. It's not the carbs itself, it's the deficit that you're in that's going to make you to lose fat. Okay, that's going to make you lose fat. It's just a numbers game. Calories in, calories out. You probably heard that millions of times, right? Choose your meals that you actually enjoy so you can stick with. Like right here, I have some potato. I know exactly how much potato I have right here. And then chicken breast, then strawberry, the cucumber, and cherry tomatoes. The fruit right there is great for carbs, right? Like I know I don't want to be tired, so I'm just having some fruit here and there, but I don't want to binge eat on any sugary stuff, so I'm just going to have some fruit right here. And yes, fruit has sugar, but it's much better sugar than Pop-Tarts, man. Come on, don't be honest. But, so disclaimer, there's no one size fits all. If you like the keto, if skipping meals helps you, if low carb meals helps you, awesome, right? It may not work for me, it may not work for a lot of people, but if it works for you, that's great. But low carb can work, high carb can work, but what works best is the one that you can stick with. This isn't about being perfect, it's just about being consistent. If there's one thing I would say, just choose something that is scientifically and logically makes sense that you're going to lose fat, but at the same time something that you can be consistent with. Like you can do the keto diet, but then if you're not consistent with it, then what's the point of saying you're on a keto diet, right? So choose something that you're consistent with, because it's going to be a long-term game. And this is something that I always do with my clients, because it's like, I don't know why you choose to make it harder on yourself, because losing weight is already hard. Why would you make it even harder, right? So choose something that you're going to be consistent with. Stick to it for a long period of time. I would say at least the first month or two, you're not going to see much results with your physique. I almost gave up the first month because I was doing all these steps. I was doing all the deficit. I was doing all these things. And I was doing the right things, it's just I wasn't doing it for long enough. So if you can be consistent with it, choose a plan that you can know that you can stick to, you're going to be good to go. I hope this really cleared up any misconfusion that you have about carbs, because this is just something that has been taking over, or at least has taken over the internet for a while, right? It could help you if you're consistent with it, but most times carbs is going to what really drive the factor to whether you have enough energy for your workouts, for your runs, for anything that you do, for when you go to work. Like, you don't want to go to work all sluggish, because you're already going to get sluggish right after work. Trust me, I work 8 hours for like 4 days out the week. So hope you actually took value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.